Well, hello everybody. Welcome or welcome back to Anna with Plants. My name is Anastasia and thank you for joining me for today's video. It is going to be a holding the mic kind of video. I'm feeling in that mood today because we are going to be talking about something that I often don't mention. Sometimes I will, but only if it's pertinent, which is we're going to be talking about the dearly departed plants, or all of the plants that I have killed thus far in my journey. And this is not all encompassing. We would be here for a very long time if that was. These are just going to be some of the notable departures from my collection since I started filming about 2 years ago. And I am going to correct some of y'all's opinion where I might have fooled you into thinking that I'm good at growing plants. And actually, after this video, you will realize that I am not that great at growing plants. I'm okay, you know? So let's take a depressing walk down memory lane and revisit all of the plants that are no longer here. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, going with the Halloween theme, I have some Halloween packaging that I am coming out with for my plant shop in the month of October. I'm just going to mention that because the restock is happening tonight if you happen to be catching the video the day that it comes out. The restock is coming out at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing it a little later because some people are at work and, you know, trying to be accommodating here. If interested, stay tuned until the end for some cute Halloween packaging goodness. Other than that, let's dive in. Is this angle good? Can you tell that I'm wearing pajamas? No, you cannot. All right, I'm going to be looking down for a lot of the video because that is where my phone is and that is where I have the screenshots of the plants that we're going to be talking about. I did something that I never do, which is I went back and I watched my old videos and oh my god, thank you guys for everyone that has been here since the beginning of when I started uploading, because I know some of you said that you've been here that long, which just blows me away because holy cringe, I couldn't do it. I had to put it on mute eventually. Okay, anyway, sorry, this is not a roast on me. This is a roast on me taking care of plants. All right, so first up, in no particular order, just the order that I have on my phone, we're going to be talking about the first plant, which is the Nova Ghost. And I will pop up all of the pictures as we're talking about them and why they died and would I repurchase. This one I got as a cutting in a surprise cutting box, so I did not select it, but I did grow it out, and honestly, this was a pretty sizable plant and I cannot tell you what happened to it. I'm sure it got root rot and maybe I couldn't bring it back. It did die a long time ago. Like I want to say a year ago, over a year ago. It's been a while. In terms of would I repurchase it, well, I do have another Nova Ghost, but I didn't intentionally purchase one. So let me show you it. Here's the Nova Ghost that I have right now. It started out as an Argentea Princess, as you can see. Then it reverted, and now we have this. Honestly, when you're looking at the photo and you're looking at the plants, I think the Nova Ghost that I had in the beginning looked better than this one. I don't know. The leaves were bigger, they were rounder. I kind of prefer that one over this one. It's still cute, don't get me wrong. This one is a little bit more speckled, which is nice. I do have another one, so I didn't mean to repurchase this, but I guess I did, seeing as I do have another one in my collection. We have 22 plants to get through. Let's pick up the pace a little bit more. The next one I'm going to show you is no surprise that it died, since it looks like it died in the screenshot, and that is the Pandurata Vietnam. I got this, I believe, in the same cutting box. It was a 1-node 2-leaf cutting, and I grew it out to be that long. And honestly, you guys, if you don't have a Pandurata in your collection, oh hi Simba, I'm filming a video. Do you want to say something? No? Okay. All right. If you guys do not have a Pandurata in your collection, then you are missing out in one of the joys in life, because it beautifully cascades down. They have really cute blooms. They're really easy to grow. I did repurchase a Pandurata Splash, not the Vietnam version. Honestly, I don't really know what the difference is since they look a lot alike. It's just this one that I have, being the Splash version, is more splashy than that one. But let me show it to you. So this one I got, I think it was like a 3-leaf cutting. Okay, hold on. The holding the mic thing is not ideal when you're holding plants. This is what the Pandurata Splash looks like. I believe I got it as a 2-node 4-leaf cutting, and then maybe these were emerging when I first got it. This is what it looks like. As you can tell, they are beautifully splashy. I love this plant too. It's been growing pretty well for me. It did kind of take a hiatus after I potted it up, as pandurata splashes do. They kind of pull the same thing that a polynera does, is they'll grow really fast for a period of time and then they'll just take a pause and then they'll keep growing again. It is nicely repotted in the mix. I'm just waiting for it to get going again. So I did repurchase a pandurata, just not the Vietnam. I don't think my collection would be complete without some type of pandurata, so I am glad that I do have another one in my collection. I hope to not kill this one. I have all of the alocasias grouped, so we're just gonna speed roll through this. The reasoning why I killed a lot of alocasia in my collection is because I didn't know how to take care of alocasia. They really don't like inconsistent watering, so drying out but also being overwatered, and that's just what I was doing to a lot of these. All of the alocasia that I'm going to show you, I believe, were in the green escape video. I remember when I first moved into this house, March of last year, I bought a ton of starter plug tissue culture alocasias from Green Escape, and the only one I have left is the scalprum. Everything else perished. I remember somebody commented on that video a while back ago, and they were asking for an update to these plants, and well, here is your update. They did not make it. Okay, let's talk about the first one I have, which is the black velvet, and you can already tell by this photo that it looks like it got attacked by spider mites, and it did get attacked by spider mites. I did end up repurchasing a black velvet, just not the black velvet that is shown in the photo. I repurchased a black velvet pink, or a pink black velvet. This is also tissue culture. I believe the last time I showed it, it had this leaf on it, and then it just put out this leaf. In that video, I mentioned how I was worried that it was going to go all variegated because it was increasingly getting more and more variegated. Well, it put out more green in this new leaf. So thank you to whoever mentioned pulling back the alocasia from the light. I did do that, and it did put out more green. So really excited that I don't have to behead it, because taking care of alocasia that don't die on me is still pretty new. I want to do right by these plants. I did repurchase the black velvet. I just repurchased the variegated version of it. Moving on to the next alocasia. Oh, we got the heterophylla, or it's also called the dragon's breath. It looks really good in this photo. I think this was from Green Escape, but this was like a 4-inch. So not exactly like their starter plugs, just a little bit bigger. I did lose this one because I transferred it to the tree fern pond mix, and it just kept drying out and it just looked sad and crispy. So yes, this one also perished, and I actually recently did repurchase this one. Let me show it to you. So I got this from Etsy last month, I want to say, and I purchased this plant. It had these 3 leaves on it, and then this one was just unfurling, so maybe that's why it looks a little different from the other ones. I purchased this for $10, and it was corm grown, which I think for a plant of this size, that is a pretty good deal. And I did pot it up in pond because it got shipped bare root and moss, so I kind of had no chance but to transition it to something when I got it. And so let me show you what the roots look like. We have some healthy roots peeking out from here. We also have some roots growing in here. I just make sure to keep it from drying out. Pond, semi-hydro, that's kind of the route I'm going. Honestly, a lot of the alocasia have been doing well in it so far. This one is getting ready to push another leaf soon. I can't wait to mature it and see the ears that this plant can get. This one doesn't have it quite yet. I did see like the variegated version. There's like an Aurea version that's floating around. I don't really like the variegated version of the heterophylla. I much prefer the original. You can't beat the bluey, green, gray tinge of the leaves. Super happy to have this back in my collection, and I will definitely try to do right by it this time around. Yeah, moving on to the next alocasia. So far, we're on a streak of all of these plants I repurchased, but I know for a fact I did not repurchase. Here's the first plant that I didn't repurchase. So this is the alocasia micholitziana. It's the regular green version of this plant, and this one is another spider mite magnet. I believe underwatering befell this plant. Oh, I totally forgot that I'm supposed to be holding this. I'm really trying to make more of an intentional start to recollecting alocasias again, because I don't want the same thing to happen that happened with hoya and anthurium, which is when I get into a genus, it's almost like I have tunnel vision and I want to collect them all type of deal, and then I get to a point months and months later that I realize I got way too many. With alocasia this time around, I'm really trying to just get the ones that I think that I will love and leave all of those that I like, but I don't necessarily want them in my collection, and this kind of falls into it. I've seen this plant in other people's collections and it's very beautiful, but I just don't want it in mine, and that's all I got to say about that. Next plant we're going to talk about is the alocasia. It's called the bisma, but it's also called the platinum. I don't know why. I think I say platinum weird, but it's the platinum alocasia. This one also gets ears. It kind of looks like the heterophylla, but it's a little bit more waxy and more on like the gray side. I don't remember how I killed it, probably underwatering. And although these are beautiful, I just got to stick to one alocasia that looks like a dragon, and there's a few going around there. The other one that I think looks a lot alike is the corazon. All three of those look pretty similar to me, so I picked the alocasia, so that's what I'm going to stick with. Next up is the alocasia purple cloak. It's also called the princeps. This one gets really beautiful when it's older. The lobes are super huge and the backs of it is purple, super dark purple. That's why it's probably called the purple cloak. Love this alocasia, did not repurchase it, won't be repurchasing it. I just want to admire it from afar. I think this might be the last alocasia I have on my list, and this is the silver dragon, probably underwatered, and I did repurchase a silver dragon, except I repurchased a silver dragon albo, and I think that will check off the itch I have for the silver dragon. I don't need both, so let me show it to you. We have the silver dragon albo. I love mine so much. Last time I saw it, I believe this one was the newest leaf, and since then it has put out this leaf, and look at how cute and marbled it is. Also, for some reason, it didn't get that pointy bottom. It has like a really round bottom. Not sure why it came out like that, but look at the variegation. It's so pretty. This one just has the most balanced variegation. It used to put out lightly variegated leaves like this, but recently all of the leaves have been having more variegation, and I've kind of been loving it, but I also won't be mad if it puts out more leaves like this. It's just so pretty and so fast. I literally just filmed that video maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and we already have a new leaf, and it is poking out a new leaf on the way. Not sure if you can see that right in the middle. Yeah, super fast plant. I've been loving it so much. The little corm on top has been growing steadily. It's happy in pond and semi-hydro. So glad to have this in my collection. I cannot even tell you. Okay, next we're going to be moving into the only two anthurium that I have some screenshots and we're going to talk about. Before you comment, wait a second, you killed way more anthurium than just two. You are right. I killed a lot of seedlings and teenage anthurium stage plants. We don't got time to go through all that, and honestly this is already pretty demoralizing, so we're just gonna keep it short and snappy, and we're gonna stick to two that I just happened to come across. So the first one is a Queen of Hearts. This one is going all the way back. This is my first ever plant tour back in the old house that we rented, which reminds me I should probably do another plant tour at some point. Anyway, so I bought this Queen of Hearts from Tazula, and if you do buy your Queen of Hearts from Tazula, they are expensive, but they're huge and they're really well taken care of. This one I did end up killing because I transitioned it, I want to say, to like a very dense tree fern mix, and it simultaneously like rotted but also got really dry from underwatering. It was really an impressive kill. It went all the way down to a stump, and I don't know what happened to that stump. I must have lost it or chucked it, or I don't remember, but I do have another Queen of Hearts that I bought this year, also from Tazula. I kind of waited a year to a year and a half before repurchasing this plant. Here she is in all her glory. This is not one plant, this is technically two. You can see one stalk, this is the other stalk. It's been chilling in my grow tent. I do need to eventually take it out of there because it is hijacking so much space, and I think it is established enough, as you can see by the masses and masses of roots in the pot, that it can be transitioned out now. This leaf is the oldest and it is going, but we have two new leaves. This is one of them, and then this is the other one. It was flowering for a while there, but now it's just pushing out leaves. Recently pollinated this one. The pollination did take with my red vein dark phoenix. Unfortunately, I underwatered the plant and the infructescence died. So I actually did save one seed from that, and it is green, but I don't know if you can germinate seeds where the infructescence aborted. We're taking a chance and seeing what happens, but anyway, I did repurchase this plant. It came big, now it's even bigger. I love the Queen of Hearts. This is the thing. Once you get it established, it's a really easy plant. It doesn't like a lot of transition. I've noticed. Pick the substrate and the pot that you think you're going to keep it in a while and just let it go. I'm impressed that it's holding on to so many leaves. It's a lovely, stunning dark plant, very in theme for Halloween for sure. I feel like if you like anthurium, then Queen of Hearts is a really good one to get. Now, speaking about queens, this is the queen anthurium. Oh my god, it looks so good in this picture too. This makes me so sad. It was just so long and dark, and it just tanked. Actually, shortly after I filmed that video too, it lost all of the leaves, and then I just couldn't bring it back from a stump. So sad. Also, peep the super blonde hair I had in this photo. I used to always think that having really bleach blonde hair was like the hair for me. I would highlight my hair. I'd been highlighting my hair blonde for like a really long time, but when I was looking back at all of these videos, with especially the ones where I had like very bright blonde hair, I think it kind of washes me out. But maybe I'm just saying that now because my hair is a little bit darker and more on the red side. I feel like this hair that I have here doesn't wash me out as much as the blonde. But anyway, back to the plant. No, I did not repurchase one. They're just so finicky. I don't want to do that tango. I'm not saying never, but definitely not right now. Ooh, we have a goeppertia. I believe that's the new name. This is the orbifolia, and I had this one in leca and semi-hydro, and oh, it was so beautiful, but again, got too dry. A lot of the leaves died back, but damn, was it beautiful. It was so gorgeous. I loved this plant so much. It would almost hurt me more to try to repurchase it and try it again, if that makes any sense. At least I have proof that I did this at one point, and I think that's good enough for me. Next is the rattlesnake. Another really pretty one. This one, not all the credit goes to me. I did buy it pretty huge. I got it from Plantarina. Remember, she had a plant shop. She had so many big, beautiful plants too. When I was first starting out with plants, I got so many from her, and this is one of them. I loved this rattlesnake calathea because it would do the praying hands, but this one was very apparent. And I remember people who would be over at the house, you know, for longer periods of time would notice that this plant would move and how they thought how cool it was and stuff. And I think this is just like a really nice plant for those people that aren't really into plants. Yeah, I missed this plant too, but what happened to it is I transitioned it to a different substrate and it just ended up getting way too dry. I honestly should have just kept it in that original mix that it was in because it retained a lot more moisture. But oh well. That is a sad one that's no longer in my collection. And just like the orbifolia, I feel like I would be more sad if I tried with it again because I know I'm not going to be able to find a plant that beautiful. You can't see him, but Sims demands more pets. Next plant we're going to talk about, we have the Hoya Bella. I had a lot of different Bellas. I had the regular green Bella, I had the Albo variegated Bella, I had the inner variegated Bella. All not here, all dead because I can't do bellas. They're so variable. People who do them well think they're the easiest plants, and then people who can't keep them alive think that they're the hardest plants, and there's really nobody in between. And you can be like a good Hoya grower and not keep a bella alive. I don't think that's like a trademark of a good Hoya grower, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to try with bella again, to be honest. Really nice plant and a good bloomer. Ooh, okay. We are moving on to the Hoya villosa. I think it's villosa, not globulosa. This is the cow dang. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's what I'm sticking to. I watched this clip back probably 3 times because of how freaking stunning it was on the screen. And I don't often do that to my plants. It's really weird, and maybe people that do plant YouTube will understand me. When people comment like how pretty a plant is, you almost have this like detachment to it because it's your plant, if that makes sense. You can acknowledge that yes, that plant is pretty, but because it's your plant, you don't think it's quite as pretty. Does that make any sense? Maybe, maybe not. Could be totally off base. But anyway, this plant defies that logic. I just could not stop staring at it, and I felt so sad that it was no longer in my collection that I did a quick search on Etsy at work, and I found a 1-node 2-leaf cutting that I was able to purchase, and it is on the way. So this is the one plant out of all the plants that I took screenshots of that I'm like, why is this not in my collection anymore? I need it in my collection, and it will be in my collection again, and I can't wait because there's really no Hoya that fills this niche quite as much as a globulosa, where it's so fuzzy, but it's also so rigid and texturized. It's amazing, amazing plant. Okay, next plant we have is the Hoya chinghungensis, and I had a really big plant of this one. I also bloomed it. The blooms are very cute. Reminds me of like Hoya bella blooms, but they're more like a mauve color as opposed to like the pink. I would not repurchase a regular chinghungensis, but I do have the intervariegated version that I can show you. It's been a while since I've shown this plant because I got it several months ago. This is what she looks like now. She's so adorable. At first I didn't really like this plant too much, but the more that I saw it, the more that it grew on me, and now I'm glad that I have it in my collection. The prices have also gone down on this a lot too. So when I first got it, I think it was about yay big. Definitely had several nodes, but it was not this long. So it's been a really good grower. I so badly want to chop it to propagate it because it's only this one vine right now. But like the Hoya bella, this one is a little bit tricky to propagate too. So I might just do what they did and put it back in fluval, since fluval is a pretty good foolproof rooting method for Hoya. It's so cute. So I do have this in my collection. It doesn't grow as fast as the green variety, of course. Still really cute, really pretty, and glad that it's in my collection. Oh, you guys, this is the one plant that I've been dreading talking about, and I kept thinking somebody was going to call me out and ask me on this. Somebody in the comment section I thought was going to call me out on why they haven't seen this plant in my collection recently. Funny enough, nobody did. The only thing that called me out was literally my conscience. Because I'm so sad that I killed this plant. This is the Hoya Crimson Queen, and it is the thumbnail of the most popular video on my channel. I'm pretty sure that video is the most popular because of the thumbnail, because that plant, it was glorious. There's no other word for it. Even the screenshot, which is hilarious that I decided to take it. Hi, Simba. I just pet you. I just pet you. You want another pet? Okay. As I pet Simba, maybe he'll make me feel a little better as I'm talking about this. What happened to this plant? Okay, it got mealybugs. So as you guys, some of you guys were here for mealygate. So I took the variegated compacta out of the garage where it had mealies. I didn't know that it had mealies. And this is like rule 101 when you have a pest infestation. Do not remove any of the plants in the area and put them in other areas, because of course that's how pests spread. But I don't know, I wasn't thinking, and I took the variegated compacta out of the garage and I put it next to the Hoya Crimson Queen, and guess what happened? It got mealybugs. And at first It wasn't really that bad. And mind you, this was happening when I was burnt out from plants. I did do a couple of plant burnout videos last year because I was feeling it. Sorry about Simba barking. I was really feeling the burnout and I just let it go. And the mealybugs got worse and worse. And finally, when I decided to do something about it, it was a little too late. I had plans to take it outside and submerge it in a bucket of water to basically drown all of the mealybugs. That's what I did for my variegated compacta when I treated it. I just put that thing upside down in a bucket of water for 24 hours and all of the mealybugs were dead the next day. I had that planned for the Crimson Queen. I took it outside to do it outside because, again, I needed a huge bucket because it was huge, like a huge 5-gallon bucket. And I forgot to do it that day. And I left it outside and the sun got to it. A lot of the leaves scorched. And the next time I saw it, it was just scorched and covered in mealybugs. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And I ended up composting it. Okay, now that I've had that confession and I got that off of my chest, that is what happened to the Crimson Queen. Should I be put in Hoya jail? Probably. I wouldn't blame you if you came over to my house and arrested me. That is a crime to do to that beautiful plant. I did bloom it. It was beautiful. I cannot buy this plant again. I think I should be banned from ever owning a Crimson Queen. Oh my God, this is another painful one. Why do I got to do these back to back? Okay, this is a Hoya lacunosa silver. I got this one from Plantarina in a 4-inch container. Was not that big, was not that full, was not that long, and I basically grew it out to be big and beautiful. It was popular back in the day, not so much anymore, but I still love this plant. It bloomed like crazy because it's a lacunosa. And I purged it. I believe I purged it earlier this year because I rotted out the whole plant. It was super wrinkly, losing leaves. It was during a time where I was downsizing in my collection, so I also downsized that plant. Do I regret it? I mean, looking at the picture a little bit because it was pretty, but it also was pretty big and it took up a lot of space. I do kind of miss it, but I wouldn't repurchase it again to grow it out. Next up is the Hoya lockii. Really wanted to love this Hoya. It did not love me back. I believe it's a cool grower, so it didn't really enjoy its time in my hot garage and didn't grow well, got spider mites all the time, was really bleached like in the photo, never bloomed, even though this is supposed to be an easy and quick bloomer. I purged it because it got spider mites and I'm like, I'm not treating you again, goodbye. And that was what happened to it. And no, I would not repurchase this one. That's an easy one, at least to answer. Next up is the Hoya Sunrise. Oh, I sun stressed this plant really, really well. I love a good sunrise. I wouldn't buy it again to have it in my collection, but I grew this one from a 1-node 2-leaf cutting. It was one of the early Hoya successes that I had under my belt, so really great plant for beginners. Even when I didn't know what I was doing with Hoya, the Sunrise was a steady grower. Put it under really high light, it'll give you this beautiful color. And I don't think I ever bloomed it though, which was weird because it was a pretty big plant. Regardless, I have so many Hoyas in my collection now. I can just admire it in other people's collections and I'm good with that. We got the Maranta Lemon Lime. This one I actually purchased in person. Usually I do a lot of my plant purchasing online, but I did drive to my nearest rare plant shop. We don't really have that many in my area. And I purchased it in person. This plant was like $24 and then I grew it out to be that huge and big and beautiful. Unfortunately, that rare plant shop closed down and this plant did die. I kept underwatering it and I think it also got mealybugs because it was on the same windowsill with the Crimson Queen and everything and I was just so over mealybugs. I think I composted that one too. I wouldn't get another one, although I do love them. Okay, here's my OG pothos. I don't name plants, but this plant had a name. Her name was Tanya, and she was a huge marble queen pothos. I got her pretty big, but I grew her out to be a freaking beast. But the tendrils were longer than me. She was magnificent. I ended up naming her Tanya because we were watching The White Lotus, and I thought Tanya was such an iconic character that I had to name an iconic plant after her. And just like the show, no spoilers though. I won't finish that sentence, although to the people that have seen The White Lotus, then you know what I'm talking about. No longer in my collection. I believe the plant died in this house because I just kept underwatering it. Would not really repurchase it because, again, I can't do it as good as I had it. Ooh, I think this is the last plant I have to talk about today, and this is another classic OG in my collection that I don't have anymore, and that is the stromanthe triostar. So when I first purchased plants, I don't even remember what the name is, a generic plant shop, and I think I placed an order of like 4 or 5 plants, and those were my first house plants. So this was in the order of my first house plants. I still have some plants from that first order. I see one right across the kitchen. It's a Dracaena that's variegated, but the stromanthe was part of that order. And every time I look at this, I feel very nostalgic. Just watching back that plant video in the old house also gave me a lot of melancholy feelings. And same thing when I look at this plant too. I wouldn't repurchase it, but I am glad to have had it in my collection. And watching my first plant tour really solidified how long I've come in the last 2 years in my collection and also in my tastes and buying habits and plant carrying habits. There were so many changes, some for the good, some for the bad, but I hope you guys enjoyed having this trip down memory lane because, yeah, it just brought up a lot of feelings for me. And I would suggest, if you're the type of person to take pictures of plants, to go back to your photos of like the first house plants that you ever bought and just go through them, because the feels, just to see how far you've come, yeah, it's really wild. So that is the last plant that I have to talk about that is no longer in my collection because I killed it. Thank you all for tuning in. For those of you that are interested in plant shop news, I am going to go over my Halloween packaging, and it's really, really cute. So let's dive into that. I did mention how I was changing up the plant labels. This isn't only for October, but the change is happening in October, so I might as well show you. I got some plant labels from Propagation Diaries because they were cheaper compared to the last batch that I got that were just clear. So this is what they look like. They're also clear, but they're holographic and clear. They do have a coating on them, so I will have to peel it off once I stick on the label, but I think they're just really cute. They're about half the price of the clear ones, but they're still very, very thick and sturdy. These are the new plant labels. I have a few to get through of the only clear kind, and then I'll start using these. So that is one change. The next is for October. I have new tissue paper and new stickers that I'm going to be adding, as well as a card that I write my handwritten notes on. I don't have the card because it's still in the mail, but I'll go ahead and insert a picture of it. Also, I will link all of the shops that I purchased from in the description box below, because they're all Etsy, because I do like to support small businesses, even though it is more expensive. But anyway, this is the cute little card. It says "Stay Spooky," and it totally goes with the theme. This is the tissue paper. Holy moly, was this an arm and a leg? It was really painful to buy it, but I just kept telling myself it really goes with the theme. It's super cute. Also, you're supporting small business, but here's what it looks like. It's Halloween-esque, but it's cutesy, it's retro. Super, super cute. So if you do happen to purchase in the month of October, please reuse this tissue paper. Just know that it's not super cheap. So it would mean a lot to me if you were to reuse it, or at the very least, recycle it. But this is what it looks like. Adorable. And then the stickers that I got go perfectly with the tissue paper. So they come in a sticker pack, and they're the same super cutesy ones. Let me open one to show you. And these stickers will be included in every order, at least one. I don't know if I can do 2. So I'm trying nails again. Fun fact that you guys don't know about me, I used to do my own gel nails, like really long gel nails, before I got into plants. Since I got into plants, there's really no reason for long nails, but I miss them so much. These are just like the kind that you can just pop on, but I thought they were cute. Let's go into the stickers. There's a little skeleton on a broom. We got a ghost pushing a shopping cart that's a pumpkin with a little kitty cat. We have some pumpkin cherries, adorable. We have some ghosts and pumpkins on a truck. We have a cute little ghost with a drink on a cute pumpkin chair. Yeah, this circle sticker. So many cute stickers. I got 5 packs of these. They come with 12, and then she did include 2 freebie stickers, which I thought was adorable. So these are like some stamps. And I cannot wait to pack up October orders. See, this is the stuff that I live for. I know it costs extra and all that stuff, but I love this time of year. I love the changing seasons and everything, but I also love incorporating that into what I'm doing. Also, as you can tell from my home and now my shop. That is the new packaging you can expect in October. Again, the restock is happening tonight, October 8th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you interested, I hope to see you guys there. Anyone on the email list will also get a list ahead of time of all of the plants that I will be offering. You guys can decide if you want to tune in or not to the sale. Other than that, if you want to sign up to the email list, it's going to be linked down below. I hope everyone is having a lovely October so far. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.